The soil that remembered, the soil that breathed. In the western region of Ghana, beyond the last cocoa farm and the red clay road, there is a forest the elders do not name after sunset. That was where Adoma was taken. She was 18, sharp, observant, and unafraid of questions. She had seen lanterns moving deep in the forest at night. She had noticed goats disappearing. She had heard whispers of rituals performed for wealth and influence, and she had said, "This is wrong." That was her mistake. The men smiled in daylight and called her daughter. They told her they were taking her to pray for protection. They carried a shovel. When she realized the pit was not for prayer, she fought. She screamed. She beat one of them hard enough to draw blood. For a moment, one of the younger men hesitated. "Let her go," he whispered. But the oldest among them, the leader, replied, "Dead girls do not speak." They buried her alive. Soil filled her mouth. Roots scraped her skin. Her fingers tore against packed earth as her breath shortened. Above her, their footsteps faded. Below her, something ancient listened. The forest felt her final heartbeat, and it refused to let it go. 3 nights later, the first child began coughing. He was the youngest son of one of the men who held the shovel, a healthy boy of 7. He woke choking violently, clawing at his throat. When his mother lit the lantern, red dust spilled from his lips. By morning, he was dead. Within days, 2 more children, all belonging to the men who buried Adoma, fell sick in the same way. They all said the same thing before they died. "She is asking for her breath back. She is standing beside my bed. She is cold." Fear spread through the village, but guilt spread faster. The men gathered again, trembling now. They returned to the silk cotton tree at midnight with charms, gin, and a ram for sacrifice. They poured libation and shouted into the darkness, "Adoma, be silent." The forest answered. The wind rose without warning. The trees bent inward. The ground beneath them softened like something breathing. A voice did not come from the air. It came from the soil. "You buried my breath," it whispered. "I have come for yours." The lanterns went out at once. The ram collapsed. Roots coiled around their ankles. They ran. They escaped the forest and locked themselves inside their huts, swearing never to speak of what happened. When questioned, they lied. "It is finished," they said. "There is nothing." But the forest does not forget. The man who dug the grave disappeared first, then the one who held her arms, then the one who laughed. One by one, they were taken, slowly, deliberately, from the least among them to the head. Some were found with dirt in their lungs. Some vanished entirely. Some walked into the forest as if summoned. Only 2 remained alive, the youngest among them, the one who once hesitated, and the oldest, the one who declared dead girls do not speak. The youngest man could not endure it. Each night he heard coughing beneath his bed. Each morning he found red clay under his fingernails. When his own daughter fell ill, whispering Adoma's name in her sleep, he broke. He staggered into the village square at dawn, barefoot and shaking. "We killed her," he confessed. "We buried her alive." The village froze. He spoke of the ritual they believed would bring wealth. He spoke of fear that Adoma would expose them. He spoke of the pit. The elders wept. The women wailed. Adoma's mother collapsed to the ground. That night, the youngest man returned home to find his daughter breathing normally for the first time in days. He survived. The forest had taken his fear and his truth as payment. Only the oldest man remained. The leader locked himself inside his hut. He refused confession, refused guilt, refused fear. But at night, he heard soil shifting beneath his floorboards. He tasted dirt in his mouth. He felt the ground soften beneath his sleeping mat. On the 7th night after the confession, the villagers heard a sound like earth collapsing inward. By morning, his hut had sunk into the ground. There was no body, only red clay. After the last man was taken, the forest changed. The air grew lighter. The coffin stopped. The children slept peacefully. Adoma's mother went to the forest's edge at dusk and whispered, "Rest now, we know." The wind moved gently through the trees. For the first time since her burial, the soil was still. If you stand there at sunset, you may feel the earth breathing beneath your feet, but it no longer sounds like someone struggling. It sounds like someone at peace. And that was how Adoma rested.